Hello everyone, my name is Vaishiki. At first I would like to say that please kindly subscribe my channel. So today I am going to read part 3 of Ramayana. And yes, I would also like to inform that the ones who want to watch Ramayana part 2, they can get the video link from the description box. Okay, so now let's begin with our story. The Vows. The four princes were leading a joyful life with their wives in the palace. The brides were very beautiful and won the hearts of one and all. One day, the maternal uncle of Bharata, Yudhajit, came to invite them along with Shatrughan for a visit to the kingdom of Kaikeyi. It was during this time that Dasharatha began to think of handing over the throne and responsibilities of his kingdom to his eldest son and moved to a hermitage along with his queens. It was unanimously decided by the council of ministers that Rama truly deserves to be the ruler of Ayodhya because of his virtues and wisdom. Thus, the next day was chosen as the auspicious one for the coronation of Rama. The idea of coronation of Rama as the king did not go well with a hunchback maid by the name of Mantasara. She rushed to her queen Kaikeyi and began to spit venom. "Oh, queen, you must rise for the sake of your son." Shocked, Kaikeyi asked her what the matter was and learnt from her the decision of coronate Rama as the king. Although Kaikeyi expressed her happiness on the news, Manthasara made her think otherwise. The crowning of Rama would mean that you and your son would be slaves and attendants of Rama and his mother Kaushalya. Bharata is more capable than Rama and thus the rightful heir to the throne. You must ask the king to give him his rightful place. Use the two venoms he made to you before marriage. Kaikeyi was now agitated enough and took off all her ornaments, putting on a black sari. She entered the Kopvavan. The king was duly informed. He rushed immediately. "What is the matter, my dear wife?" asked Dasharatha. Kaikeyi went on crying without speaking a word. It was only after a lot of coaxing that she finally spoke. "Do you remember when you fainted in the battlefield on your chariot?" "Yes, I do," said Dasharatha in exasperation. "But what has that to do with your coming to the Kovavan after all these years?" "I came to your rescue and nursed you to consciousness," said Kaikeyi. "Yes," Dasharatha replied. So what about that? You promised me 2 wishes in return. I ask for them now. And I know that the kings of Raghu dynasty are known to keep their promise. Then she started for her deadly wishes that altered the fate of the kingdom altogether. Kaikeyi asked for Bharata to be crowned the king and Rama to be sent to exile for 14 years. Dasharatha was benumbed with shock. He fell unconscious and it was a while until he recovered. He begged Kaikeyi and not to send Rama away as he won't be able to live without his beloved son. But Kaikeyi did not relent. Absolutely helpless, he returned to his chamber. The next morning, Rama entered his father's chamber to seek his blessings, but was undertaken aback at the despair on his face. Kaikeyi stood next to him but would not tell him anything. Rama urged Dasharatha to tell him the reason, but he was too overcome by grief to speak. Finally, Kaikeyi announced the 2 bows that Dasharatha had granted her. Rama simply smiled and said that it was his utmost duty to comply by his father's wish. Rama prepared for his exile and Sita begged to come along. As they stepped outside their chamber, Lakshmana awaited in vermilion clothes. He insisted that he was declared Rama's companion at the birth and could not be separated from him for any reason. By this time, the news had spread to the entire kingdom. The people gathered outside the palace, mourning beside Rama's chariot. As the tree mourned the chariot, Sumantra himself took on the reins. He kept pace with the chariot, following them into the forest. All of them had made up their minds to spend 14 years of exile with Rama. As Dasharatha heard the wheels of the chariot rolling out of Ayodhya, he fell in mourning. Kaushalya was weeping bitter tears and was inconsolable. At nightfall, Sumantra stopped on the banks of river Tamasa to rest. The people gathered firewood and made their offerings to their king. Soon they all settled on the hay beds. Once they had fallen asleep, Rama requested Sumantra to drive them deep into the forest where they wouldn't be able to discover by anyone. In the morning, as the people found Rama missing, they understood his will and surrendered quietly. Okay, so story ends here. In my next video, I am going to read part 4 of Ramayana. If you liked my today's video, then please kindly like and comment my video. And also subscribe my channel to listen to more such stories. And also to follow all my videos regularly. And don't forget to click on the bell icon. Thank you.